Hello and welcome to Console Gaming League. We've got a matchup from the Contender tier on this wonderful Friday night between Dad and the Lads and Mounchies. Coming to this game, Dad and the Lads 4-2 off of a just really close loss 2-1 to Phantom Thieves last week, where Mounchies coming off a pretty strong victory themselves, I believe over Danny DeVito, coming to this game 2-3. I'm your host Salt and Pepper, joined by Headrammer, and definitely excited for this one. Headrammer, what do you think, man?
Sorry, can you say that one more time? You cut off on my headset.
Oh, sorry. Just how excited about this game. Glad to have you here. What do you think of these two teams?
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited to be here too. The maps we're looking at this time are really quite interesting ones that are different throughout each one, and I'm expecting some really good matches. Dan and Lads have been looking strong these last few weeks, sitting on at 4-2 like you mentioned. Mounchies, even though they have one of their games at forfeited, they're still kind of pushing for one of those playoff spots. And it comes down to the wire here in the second to last week. These standings are potentially ready for a shakeup.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And as we get into Dorado, will be our first map tonight. Just think about Mounchies at the 2-3. They do have a game that was postponed that'll be played later. Obviously, not a lot of weeks left in the season, but after that, either this week or next, and the forfeit loss as well. So maybe the 2-3 not quite indicative. I think we can probably expect a pretty competitive game regardless. But Contender tier is pretty tight. You've got pretty much the top 4 or 5 spots pretty locked down already. So that 6th spot definitely up for grabs. But there's a lot of teams right in that kind of middling area, 3-3, 2-3, looking for maybe a foothold, something that can propel them into that 6th spot. And just with week 7 and week 8 of the season left, it's still a lot to play for.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you're not going to make it into the playoffs, playing that spoiler team can be quite a good amount of fun. You have the other teams then actually rooting for you to beat maybe a higher seeded team to bring them in the playoffs. And it's one of those moments in the game that can sometimes be like a little bit bonding. You saw that sometimes in the Overwatch League, where there'd be the one of the Overwatch League teams sitting in the audience cheering on the team to try to get them into the playoffs, and like going up hugging each other. It's like all a bit of camaraderie.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, it's going to make some exciting matchups towards the end of the season. Phantom Thieves, actually, I believe now 7-0 coming off the victory against, I want to say, Danny DeVito last night. It was a 3-0 win for them. So definitely the strongest team in this division, and probably have capped that top spot. But, still, Dad and the Lads in that 4-2, like we said, one of those teams firmly nestled into a playoff spot. But they don't want to lose any map points or anything here, and hoping to come away with a good result. For Mounchies, the attacking team first, it's C-Team Alpha on Diva as Meteor Coast goes Mercy. Weary Bunny over onto Winston as Hey I'm JZK is on Genji. Sergeant Soup on Zenyatta, and Gaming Sorcerer 6 on the Pharah. For the defenders, a defensive Pharah as well as Monkey's going to be in the sky. Nips on the Widow should make it interesting here early on with this tight choke point. Flash Wolf on the Reinhardt, Killer Endo on Mercy as Imskizzle goes Zenyatta. Sophia over on the Zarya.
Yeah, we might see a little bit of interesting action here with the Pharah on the side of the attack, because the defense does have a Widow, and a good Widow can shut down a Pharah pretty well here.
If Nips can find any sight lines immediately up into the sky, Weary Bunny looking for that high ground, and will contest and try and meet the defense where they are. Imskizzle immediately before the defenders getting a pick onto that Winston, and already off to a good start, but the attackers definitely have a lot of time. Nips with the mine placed, well done, as C-Team Alpha goes over there and then thinks better of it, but still, both these teams kind of just poking back and forth. Imskizzle getting in the feed again, able to help out getting Sorcerer down.
Dude, support carry, popping off already.
Still nothing too available yet for the Widow, not able to quite get the shots in. Monkey here for the defenders, still in the Pharah, and I like the tight defensive position here from Dad and the Lads. They're not really too worried, and to be fair, the attacking team is really pushing them maybe as hard as they could, or as they should be in order to prevent that high ground. But now, hey, JCK going in with a fantastic little 3-kill there. Now the payload's really moving.
Yeah, it really did look like they probably didn't rotate as fast as they wanted to hold that choke. They kind of were fiddling around there on the right side for a bit while they were pushing cart, and then finally had to send someone back. But at that point, they were split and taking so much burst damage from the Pharah, they kind of got dashed and picked off one by one by Genji.
Yeah, not a great start
like,
here.
They've abandoned the Widow.
Oh, you're exactly right. Nips switching over to the Tracer instead. Yeah, interesting that the Pharah's in sky now, but I guess difficult to kind of make it effective. You were saying the kind of spam damage coming in definitely helpful in completing that attack. I'm kind of surprised at how quickly they were able to attack it. but now maybe getting some kills answered back as well. JZK able to pick up Nips though, so still pretty even, but the payload is still continuing to push pretty well. The defenders just keep kind of retreating a little bit around this corner.
Yeah, it really hasn't stopped moving pretty much this entire time. Now, I'm kind of questioning the investing of that Valkyrie right there, considering they had 2 or 3 kills at the time already, and the fight was very much won. So, I'm kind of questioning, a little bit questioning the use of that Valkyrie. I think they might want that back, because now the defense here can come in and potentially invest their own Valkyrie, which they'll have in just 9%, and maybe even hold this point.
That's very true. I will say Transcendence on both sides means that Sergeant Soup can still at least use another support off, but while that second Valkyrie would be building. Already, yeah, like you said, another Valkyrie in the air, Killer Rando able to get up to keep everybody in the defense up. Nobody dropping just yet. Now Flash Wolf getting in a Fire Strike on Sergeant Soup. Here comes the Graviton, but it only catches that Genji. But yeah, it's going to be, I think, yeah, the defense will wrap up here just fine. And it'll be Mounchies having to retreat. 1.22 meters away, 3 minutes and 52 seconds. A lot of time to work with, though, for the attack.
Yeah, but this is one of the hardest. Well, actually, it kind of gets increasingly difficult, but this is actually a really good spot for them to stop this point, because it's such a long distance they have to travel back, and every single time you do this, even with this massive Diva stall right here, it takes you a long time to come back and get set up if you fail this fight. And the spawns are so close.
Yeah.
But this is really weird here, how the attack is they're just kind of sitting up there, because they don't really have a whole lot of high ground contests besides the Genji on the side of defense here, so they're kind of just letting them stay there.
Monkey almost found himself in a bit of a spot of bother there, but able to get away and back to the rest of the team. You're right, though, the attack just kind of waiting to have their full engagement here. They definitely have some ultimates to work with, so we'll probably see some come out right into the back, trying to get after Killer Ando, but retreats safely. Here's the Transcendence from the defenders. M-Skills will just looking to keep everybody alive. Yeah, nothing. It just seems like a very tentative approach from both sides here. Monkey finally able to find BD or Coast in the back. Here comes the Primal Rage from Weary Bunny. What are you about to say, Headrammer?
I was gonna say, up until that Genji play right there, no one really wanted to invest in that fight. Everyone was kind of like gauging each other up, looking at each other in the eye, and daring the other one to make the first move. I was surprised how slow these fights are.
Yeah,
well,
usually
the fights are really slow to start up, and then they go super fast.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Like kind of a slow build, and then everything kind of happens all at once. We saw it there. A lot of ultimates in that fight, but well invested from Mounchies as they do cap the B checkpoint. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left, and they look like they're rolling pretty consistently. A few ultimates on the other side to watch out for, including the Pulse Bomb and Graviton here from Nips and Sophia. Could be a nice combo to stall these attackers. Who decides to use it a la carte, gets a little bit of damage though. Not quite able to get.
Yeah, this third point is so difficult. It's so difficult to hold though. Sorry, not hold, attack. If you don't have those ultimates, kind of push your way through it. But getting those like 3 or 4 quick pick-offs has actually really helped them, especially when they were at an ult disadvantage. And now doubling down with that Valkyrie, actually should allow them to clean up quite a lot of kills. But this cart just pushes freely throughout third point. Some of the getting around the most difficult chokes. And now the defense here is really going to have to throw this Graviton and hope they can stabilize with it.
I really like the play there from Team Alpha. Just try and repel everybody, make sure they didn't want to come out there. It's they still have a little bit of time to work with, though. There's the Graviton coming through and catches a couple. The Dragon Blade from JZK looks for a couple, finds 2, and that's going to be the cap for Mounchies.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate there for Down the Lads. The ultimates they had going into that third point defense there, they had a lot of opportunity to defend that. They were coming really close on Shatter. They already had their Graviton and the Pulse Bomb, like you mentioned earlier. They just needed to be, I think, maybe a little bit more aggressive and engage them first, because the offense there was just getting all this proc damage down, and then just their dive here just went in, got those kills everyone low, and then they had the numbers advantage, and were just able to continue pushing through as the team staggered themselves.
Yeah, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see a really aggressive defense. Obviously, Mounchies played their attack a bit more, I wouldn't say conservatively so much, because I think they were patient in how they approached. But I really do expect them to kind of dive back on to the attack from Dad and the Lads before they can really get set up and kind of catch them off guard. And I feel like they can burn at least a solid 2 minutes before this first point. Perhaps a bold prediction, but I'm expecting a strong defense from Mounchies here.
Yeah, this is actually really, really good for Mounchies right now. First of all, the fact that they finished third point, one of the hardest third points there is in the game to capture, but also they finished it with a really solid time at 2 minutes and 42 seconds. That's really, really good for this point. And Dino Lads really got to step it up on their attack and hopefully finish this really strong because it's so easy to get tripped up on that point.
Yep. Yeah, and momentum's such a huge thing in this map. Like you were saying, it's so difficult to get to the end, so having that middle section, be able to get a couple late staggers after you cap A or something, you can continue rolling that momentum through and get a lot of progress. But if you get stopped up, especially in the middle, how many times we've seen payload stalled after just a single point half of that second section, because it can be really difficult to get set back up and re-engage if you get stalled there.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like on the attacking side here, we're going to see a little bit of Mercy, Lucio, Genji Tracer. Sorry, not Genji Tracer, Genji Widow. So we're going to maybe get a little bit more action out of this Widow this time. Nips did tell me he was going to teach me how to play Widow by showing off in his game today, so I'm expecting some big things from him.
Pressure's on now. I'm going to keep him on the feed. Already flash.
Oh, they already got down to
Sergeant
Zen.
Soup, though. That's a pretty big pick. Fight a ways away, nothing yet.
So this is really kind of a brawl on each side here. There's so many trades. But I think the Dino Lads here are actually winning out on this.
I think you're exactly right. May have spoken too soon as Monkey and Flash Wolf combined there to take down both tanks for the current point defenders, Mounchies. Meteor Coast in a tough spot and will drop immediately. It is really nice response here from Dino Lads, and yeah, payload moving pretty gracefully.
We'll say, I'm actually really surprised at how much kind of divey comps are being run in this game so far. Well, I mean, it's only the first map, but there is, in this certain meta, we've seen so much more, brawly, like Ryan Zarya with like the close deathball comps. But now they got two really quick picks, and now they're kind of stabilized. Though I'm not really fully sure they needed the dragon. Not drag, yeah, the blade, because I'm pretty sure they had stabilized that fight, but sometimes it's just about sending a message.
That's true. He was able to take out the Sophia out of mech, though, and I think grab another two, so it may have been just what they needed to swing the other direction. Still with the primal, the Shatter on the way for Mounchies on the other side. Nips now back over to the Tracer. Flash Wolf has a Primal Rage, very close to the Valkyrie as well. Monkey's going to have a blade of his own, so an opportunity here for Dad and the lads to get back into it.
Yeah, the Imps also now switched off to Lucio and going to Zen, so they want a little bit more of that Discord target each person down action they were doing earlier to get those quick picks. But like early on, McCree gets down Monkey on the Genji, but they've decided to double down anyways. Hop in the Valkyrie, and they're really got to take advantage of this with Zen's being backlined by the Tracer.
Yeah, that was an impressive, kind of an important pick there for Gaming. Sorcerer is able to grab a second one there as well. Nips will answer one back the other direction, but again, this Mounchies defense is doing a pretty solid job of staying in a good position. C-Team now nanoed has a Earth Shatter, is able to find Ando immediately. The other two fall, but they're not quite able to follow up the damage. Oh, there goes the second support. Nice capitalization there. Kind of group up for. Oh wow, wow.
Yeah, that was.
Did you see that C-Team get booped up a little bit? Yeah, he got out. He got booped up and hit Monkey directly into like the overhang of this underneath choke point.
It's crazy. No, I will say, like, I've been confused a little bit by the Valkyrie usage kind of of both teams here. I kind of called Mounchies out a little bit on the attack with kind of not needing the Valkyrie, and I'm going to say it again there for Dan Laz this time. The Valkyrie wasn't needed. They popped Valkyrie and then didn't push forward at all. Literally nothing happened. Whenever you pop Valkyrie, you better be engaging and pushing forward, because it's such a powerful ultimate.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The ultimate's out now for the DPS. Monkey's got one, the blade here, but we just saw the pulse bomb from Nips go awry. Kill still going the way of Mounchies, though. Now Killer's down, Imskizzle's down as well, and both supports for Dad and the lads hit the deck. C-Team finally swinging in and will take down Monkey. So he's had the blade now for, I want to say, maybe 2 team fights. Obviously not huge team fights, but I think the opportunity may have been there a few times for that blade to come out for Monkey there. Still ultimates to work with, a lot of time, but I mean, you're looking at 4 ultimates, close to 6 by the time this fight really breaks out for the defenders, and yeah, it starts to look a little bit tougher.
Yeah. I would almost argue that the ideal time for the blade already had passed. He had the blade when the Zenyatta on the defense there did not have his transcendence. But maybe this bomb can get some victories here. It gets 2!
Oh, fantastic response. That is exactly what they needed.
Absolutely insane. Yeah, it is what they needed, because you're looking at it, they were at a severe all disadvantage. The defense was sitting on nearly 6 ultimates, and to win it just off the back of a Diva bomb, and well, I was going to say not to invest in anything else, but they also spent the Valkyrie again. So yeah, that was actually not a bad time to use the Valkyrie. Yeah, you had to manage to push forward and use it because you needed it.
Yeah, that bomb definitely the just kind of the linchpin there to be able to cap this point. Up against 4, I mean, obviously now 6 ultimates, but 4 ultimates to begin with, and not quite able to get away from that Diva bomb, and Dad and the Lad's able to cap A. That's pretty impressive. I thought they
Yeah,
would shut down there.
Yeah, with all this many ultimates, if I were Munchies here, I would hold and play this super close, play really aggressive, and push forward here. Don't let them in at all. And it looks like they dropped the shatter and are doing just that. Especially that's what you got to do with these like really up and close brawly compositions. You need to play this choke, play it up and close, because you look right there, the offense has the Winston Diva, so they can control that high ground up there, which can be a really big portion of this map. If you allow them to get into place there and kind of like stage there, they can drop down on you, can do other stuff. But if you hold this really close, this is an objective. You have to push it, and not letting them get to that and abuse that high ground can do a lot for you.
Well, and I think you're right. By not controlling that space, they're kind of leaving themselves exposed because there's no shield tank to avoid a lot of the damage coming in from range from Mounchies. So it's just difficult for them to even get close. But now it's a Graviton coming out here from the defenders. The Dragon Blade going through, but it's a Transcendence, I believe, coming out here from Skizzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastically timed Transcendence. Still going the way of the defenders, though. Not quite able to weather that storm entirely. JZK will answer one back with the Blade, but I think kills are still going the way here of... Yeah, maybe the defenders, I think.
Yeah, this Zarya being a 100% charge is just melting these people here. Already at 60% to another Graviton, and they're still sitting on 4 more ultimates. Like, the offense here is kind of just spending their ultimates kind of a little bit willy-nilly to a degree, where each time a defense only has to invest 1 or 2, and in that same team fight, they can get a large percent of it back in the meantime, but the attack is using their ultimates, and they're getting nothing really for them.
Yeah, I think you're right. Having to use them in reaction to what's coming in at them and not really able to coordinate as well as they'd like. Monkey actually having to sacrifice the Blade there, getting off the Genji to the Reaper and seeing if that could be the difference for them. Still facing a time bank in the face that will disadvantage them, though. 15 seconds left, and this will be the last team fight here. Unless they pull off the miraculous and get through. We got the nano boost, though. Here comes another bomb over the top.
Another big bomb, maybe.
Here for Sophia. Not quite able to get Weary Bunny. How about Shatter coming through, grabs a couple Monkey directly into the wall. And yeah, numbers dropping quickly here for Dad and the Lads, but I think they might be able to get a few kills of their own. Got Monkey back on his feet. Nice res there. Sergeant Sue takes Sophia out of mech, though. The overtime meter begging to tick down. Here comes the drag, the Deadeye. Gets the shield in front and takes down, too.
He almost went down there. Was gonna fell down, was dropped, and was saved by his Rhino. But Monkey picking off 2 already, so this fight is not dead yet, and they're actually stabilizing, bringing this back.
That is astonishing. Yeah, definitely would not have expected that. Just like that Deadeye, though, the shield there from C team able to get into a good position and backs it up. I think they just got a point.
Yeah, that was
just slice them up.
I wasn't sure if the defense there of Mounchies was gonna have to back up and regroup a little bit after losing majority of their team, but having that Blade and the desperateness of the attack there allows you to just kind of go in and either kill them or force them off.
Yeah, so impressive defense here from Mounchies, and they take the first lead here in the series. We'll see if Kings Row can be the answer back for Dad and the Lads. Still 4-2 and looking to maintain that top tier spot, but Mounchies just coming to this game and looking for the win that could send them into the playoffs. Be right back with Kings Row directly after this. And welcome back to Console Gaming League, where we've got Mounchies, the underdogs, now up 1-0 against Dad and the Lads. Coming to this game 2-3 against the Dad and the Lads, 4-2, and an opportunity for them to kind of get closer to maybe that 6th playoff spot in Contender. Like I said, off to a fantastic start, a 3-1 finish on Dorado, where they completed the map, pretty good time on the clock, and then a nice hold in the center section to take an early lead in the series. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, joined by Headrammer, and I know we were talking a little bit in the intermission just about the two comps that these teams are playing and what they kind of like to stick to. And what do you think? What did you see in Dorado, and then how do you think that's going to affect how we approach Kings Road now that we swap sides?
Yeah, so these two teams were playing kind of very, very differing styles. One was playing more of the play up and close and personal Ryan's Zarya composition, but then it was kind of really playing more of the standard dive. And it looked like throughout the entire both attack and defense that Dan and Lads there really, really wanted to play the dive. They wanted to play it through the entire time, and even when it wasn't working that much, they were still kind of trying to force the Winston Diva specifically. I noticed a lot. And the composition that Mounchies was running, they were running the Ryan Zarya, and they were playing to the advantage of their composition really, really well. The composition really excels at like holding corners, chokes, and getting up and close and personal. And you saw that on their first point defense, where they held that archway for quite a long time, and even when they had finally lost that point on holding the second point, they held up close and personal, didn't allow them to move the card at all, and by that point in time, they already had a severe ult advantage, and it was just super hard for them to push through it. I think the DPS on the side of Dan Lads was switching things up and trying to figure out something that was working better. They switched off the Genji, they went over to the Reaper to try to play the up close and personal, but I almost think that they should have swapped the tanks as well and went to the Ryan Zarya to kind of complete that brawl. Because it did seem like most of the time the Zarya on the side of Mounchies was very highly charged and was pretty much just melting through Diva. And once Diva was gone, Winston was gone as well. I was also really surprised to see how much Zen we were seeing. This isn't really the most friendly meta right now for Zen, just due to the presence of like Doomfist and just all that on the CC and him just assassinating him. I understand the design on the side of Dan and Lads, since they were trying to run that 5e comp. You really run Zen a lot with that, just due to the fact that you can kill from that long range, you can throw the discords down the targets and just dive them, assassinate them much faster. But what surprised me the most about the Zen was honestly seeing on the side of Mounchies. It was working really well for them, but it's not something you typically think of when you run that area. You just think of Ryan Zarya, oh, we're gonna run like a Lucio, because you have those slower moving tanks. And the Lucio allows you to, well, one, group heal them, and two, you can switch to that speed boost and get really up close in their face. But it seemed like they're actually kind of like hybriding it a bit, so they kind of a little bit of Brawley with a little bit of dive. They had the Genji as well as the Zen, so they can throw the orb on throw the orb on Genji, and then discord the targets that Genji was able to go after. And surprisingly, I was impressed with how well they were able to keep their Zen alive. Part of it on the positioning of their Zen, and also for the peel for him. I was actually really impressed for that. Then going to this map right here, this King's Row map, I do think, based on the previous map, I think going to this one, Mounchies has the advantage. Specifically due to the way they were playing around their tank compositions. The Ryan Zarya on King's Row is a staple of this map, and if Mounchies continues to play it how they did in the previous map, I think they'll have this map in the bag. Then I really want to see how Dan and Lads plays the Ryan Zarya. We didn't see it the entirety of Dorado here, but if they can step it up, because their DPS were going pretty well for the most part, making the switches they needed to. But I want to see their tank swap it up a bit and see if they can maybe be a little more flexible. It looks like initially here we will have Mounchies. Excuse me. Initially here we're gonna have Mounchies defending. It looks like they might be kind of, well, they're running the Zen again, so it's a little bit of a hybrid again. They're not running that Lucio, so they seem to really favor the Zen, which I find incredibly interesting. They're running the Ryan Zarya that they've done before. They're running the Bridget, Zen, Ana, and Hanzo. So we're getting a little bit of that range damage while also being able to do the mass healing through Ana and his Bionades. But they're also running the Bridget. So this is going to be a really interesting competition where they could stun the tanks and then maybe throw a bio grenade at them or stun them and charge them. Even getting a stun volley, yeah, this could actually work pretty well here. But on the side of the offense right now, Danalad's looking to run the little bit of the Orisa, so maybe some Widow with the D.Va. So they're still looking to run the D.Va, which D.Va honestly though is not bad in it's not usually bad in any composition. D.Va is so versatile. And right as I start listing what composition they're running, it looks like they're switching over to classic goats here. Well, actually no, quad tank with
Lucio.
yeah, quad
He was like
tank
a classic now.
Moira Lucio. Yeah, now we're really going back here. We're into some EU stuff.
I think the defense though definitely set up to target focus. Obviously their priority. Obviously it is regardless, but I just want to brawl people down. But a very aggressive attack here from Dadvalads. Loving it so far. Sergeant Soup getting a quick pick though. Skizzle down, but evening it out. Nips getting killed the other direction. Still a 4v4 though, as House and PK and Suspect Brownie swap there. Now with Sophia's out of mech though, maybe things starting to go the way of the defenders, but the attack definitely has a stronger and shorter respawn, so it could be difficult. JCK in on the Brigade going in on Flash Wolf, who's in a tough spot, will drop there, but trying to get a little bit of help from Lil DZ coming in as a substitute on the Roadhog. Solid Roadhog player, but forced to retreat here as I think the defenders may galvanize a little bit.
Yeah, that could have been really bad there for the side of the defense. Starting to lose people when you're going against 4 tanks is very dangerous. Oh, Reinhardt going deep there, but he lives?
That's kind of amazing he did.
Quick grab.
Wow. Yeah, you're exactly right. That could have gone south very quickly here, but what a response here from Mounchies.
Yeah, this is actually really... That's what I said about Zen earlier. They're playing with their Zen really, really well. Because if you look at it, Zen had Trance even before that Graviton came out. He was rocking that damage, laying those Discords down, and he's dropping down a lot of damage. And this Zen actually is what you need against these quad tanks. You need to be able to burn them.
Oh, more than enough time to see that Shadow coming in, but didn't quite catch it. They'll go in for the pin. The Dragons come out as well here. And Suspect Brownie with 3 kind of kills in the feet. I guess 2 plus the mech, but kills maybe coming back the way of the attackers. But Suspect Brownie still completely popping off. Finally will drop here. Points starting to earn for the attack, and I think that will do for them. Nice response, an aggressive attack. They kind of just took a second to retreat and got their full 6, came right back in, and it paid dividends. Now with 2 minutes on the clock, they'll cap A.
Yeah, I think the defense there played it pretty well for what their composition was against that quad tank. They might want to go to a little bit more burst damage right now to kind of fight these quad tanks, and they just need to kind of burn them down. But I mean, they've actually been doing a surprising job of it just due to their target focus. And again, they're holding these chokes right there.
On with the top will catch JZK. The attack Graviton comes through, but here's a Transcendence to respond. Another combination coming through with the Dragons. Won't quite catch anyone, but now the fight's really breaking out. Suspect Brownie still able to get Flash Wolf down and adds another onto Hasio. And honestly, this Hanzo's just putting in some work right now. But you see the assist too. Obviously, the Discord Orb and the Fire Grenade helping out as well. But man, just Suspect Brownie coming in as a sub and doing a really solid job.
Yeah, I feel like I see these assists with on the Zen on nearly every single one of these kills. Well, after I say that he's dead, so that could actually be really problem. If I were them, I would back up because the Zen is like one of their big parts of why they've been stabilizing these fights. Oh! Massive Shadow putting down 3 people. That could have been really bad. They're still kind of trading these kills here, which you don't want to be doing against 6 tank comps.
With the attack,
I spoke to a Casper cursed it.
I think you did actually.
Got myself a little bit excited. Now these tanks can just push right up. If I were them, they're playing a little bit passive on this cart, trying to get the benefits of the 3-person pushing up. But you don't really need to do that when you have this comp. You have 4 tanks, just push up and don't let them in.
Right? Yeah, just offset fights a little bit. You're able to get a kill or 2, and it starts to look better. But there's a fantastic pick. I think Suspect Brownie was actually about to pop grab, or the Dragons rather. I'm really confused. And was pulled out of the sky by Lil DZ. Fantastic there from the Roadhog, and Dadvalads doing a good job in their attack.
Yeah, that Shadow there, the Reinhardt on the side of Mounchies got charged right in, and then that left his team wide open to be shattered. So sometimes, no matter if you really want to, maybe you shouldn't go for that big pin. Be mindful of if the enemy Reinhardt has shatter, because when that other Reinhardt's gone, that's free reign. And now they have switched over to the Doomfist on the side of Mounchies here. They understand that one of the best things to combat these tank combinations is lots of burst damage, and I don't know what gets more burst than a Doomfist out of nowhere.
We just Graviton coming out there for the defenders, a self-destruct, but I think actually Weary Bunny will do a lot of the work there before the damage comes through. Sophia with another double though.
Yeah, they were able to get what worked really well for them there. They were able to get a Bionade on them in that graph, so nearly every single person in there was anti-healed, and there was just no healing available. And actually, Downloads here have switched over off of the Lucio, the Ana, so I actually didn't notice they dropped Lucio earlier, even though I saw they had Ana. Those Bionades are powerful.
Is he attacking Graviton just back and forth on both these sides? And Nano went on to Flash Wolf, swinging away as big as possible. DZ and Flash are both over the side, though. Oh my god, what a move. I think JZK got one of them as well, and that was fantastic defense here from Mounchies just to wrap this up, but I think that was 2 over the side. Suspect Brownie just icing on the cake with the double, maybe a little excessive there.
Alright, that was really excessive. I feel like I'm not sure if they were getting just like really excited because they stopped them or anything there, but that was actually, I think that will come back to bite them. They spent way too many ults there. They pretty much had them after the Graviton happened and the Reinhardt turned to fill in the pit, but yet they still invested the Shatter and the Reaper ult. That was, I think this will come back to hurt them.
Little DZ now switching over to a Doomfist for the attackers, so that'll be a lot of fun to watch. These 2 Doomfists going back and forth. Just the one ultimate though, Flash Wolf with a Shatter here, and opportunity just one on the other side as well. So, I mean, obviously, percentage-wise, they're a little bit further behind, but both about 15% away to a support ultimate. So maybe, yeah, an overinvestment from Suspect Brownie they could have used on this fight, but I think maybe they may get away with one here.
Yeah, it's mitigated a bit because the attacking side switched up their 2 DPS, so you lost the potential of getting those 2 tank ultimates. But still, if possible in defense, you always want to maintain that ult advantage because the attack, holding those pokes and everything with your ultimates, be able to engage them, and not let them in. Having that advantage can allow you to defend so much stronger. Oh, the entire team anti-heal right now.
Oh, and taking full advantage. What a shatter from Flash Wolf.
Quad shatter.
Oh my god. But then got slept immediately. Oh, what a fantastic response, though. I think they may be able to get away a little bit, but with a 5-man shatter, that was amazing. Might have been, well, I guess probably at least 4, right? Somebody had to be caught there.
Oh, this could be a big bomb. Oh, get the Lucio. This fight's really back and forth right now. And I think... Oh, Ana pushing a little too forced there, but I think actually they might be able to hold the Fire Strike. Long range kills the Ana.
Oh yeah, now things starting to go. I really like the bit of a retreat there from Dad and the lads, and then found the opportunity to push back forward, had a couple picks, and now it's the defense having to drop off in kind of more of a defensive position. DZ here looking for the Meteor Strike, finds JZK is opposite on the Doomfist. Things starting to look a little bit better here for Dad and the lads, and they definitely have momentum now. That could be from Suspect Brownie. They were able to catch a double. Catches Sophia out of mech as well before dropping. Now just 10 seconds on the clock here, and I don't think anybody even close to the payload. I don't think they're going to be able to contest this. I think it stops right there.
Yeah. So, despite actually a lot of scares, they were able to hold them on 3rd point there. I'm really surprised with how well this is working out for Mounchies with how they were kind of using their ultimates there, especially on 3rd point. Well, the 1st point they were doing really well, but they seem to just kind of be throwing their ultimates, and especially when they were really down in fights, they would throw more ultimates into it, and to a degree they were basically overextending, but they didn't get punished for it as much as they should have been, and I think that's partially on the side of the attackers for not punishing it more. You saw sometimes where they would get punished, where like the Zarya would push forward, basically completely alone. We get punched with Doomfist and taken out, and Diana was taken out by Fire Strikes, and now the offense had such a huge advantage and pushed forward. But then some more people pushed forward on the side of defense and like spent some more ultimates and was able to like somehow clutch some more kills. And it was such a brawl back and forth. There's almost at certain points in time you would guess who was winning the fight, and you would probably be wrong.
I think the biggest thing that I'm noticing is that the thing's working out in Munchie's favor. It really kind of both sides, but I think Munchie's kind of executing a little bit more. Is they're just always committing. Whatever they're doing, they're just committing to it. So if they do have maybe an overinvested ultimate, there's never a question about like, oh, are we taking this fight? Like they just all go in and then they're able to clean up. And it's been working out in their favor. And I think a bit of it, you're also right, not getting punished as much as maybe they should. from Dad and the Lads, but I mean that's the game, right? They're able to
Yeah,
good attack here, and they take this game. So we'll see if Dad and the Lads can come out and respond with as strong a defense as we saw from Mounchies on Dorado, and even up the series going to Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, you're very much right. Munchie's strategy is, are they taking the team fight? The answer is always yes. They're always taking the team fight.
Yep.
And like Simon said, like if you're gonna do something or you're gonna do something dumb, make sure everyone does something dumb together. Then you're on the same page.
Yep. Exactly right. Nips again on the Widow, looking
for Goat's attack.
Some space through. They're gonna go through the theater, and I think he actually was tossing that bomb, so probably didn't see him go up there, but may start to find some sightlines here. Now still nothing. They're still watching the choke, and that's going to be influential here for the attackers completely. And I think now the word's finally coming out that they're going over the high ground, but it's been a good execution. Not quite able to get. I think still able to get over the top.
Doofus jumps over him.
Obviously, can't follow him in there without dying immediately.
I don't know if they're trying to displace this Widow or what, because like their Ghost composition doesn't really do a whole lot with high ground. I guess they're really just trying to make sure Widow doesn't have sightlines, but this is like one of the biggest flanks I've ever seen since the LA Gladiators. And then it works, actually. They take out both DPS. And now they can just charge in the point pretty much uncontested.
Yeah, and doing just that. Now the fight's really breaking out. Nice slow crawl all the way around to take down both Ghost members, and then just rolling through Weary Bunny, getting a couple there. JZK adding his name as well. And a third for that Reinhardt. Munchies it's just a methodical approach to everything, and it just seems to be working out right now.
Yeah, at first I thought they were going to stop with the Doomfist and just drop right in, but no, they sensed blood and just charged after the Widow, and was actually able to get her as well. And now their defense is switching over. They switched off the Widow. They're done with that. Switching over to the Ryan Zarya Diva. So Nips is over on Zarya now, and they're keeping the Doomfist coming close to the ultimate, and the Doomfist does do actually pretty well against that goat style composition. But a big Bionade lands on 3. But actually, the Shatter also invested and gets actually nobody.
Yeah, I think it was actually double bubbles there from C Team Alpha and protects himself, and I think whoever was right in front, not even Diva. But just no value out of that. Now it's a nano boost onto Nips. Flash goes in for the pin, doesn't quite catch it. Here comes a Graviton from the attackers, and the Coalescent to combine. Killfeed blue again for Munchies, and just the coordination and the cohesion from this team right now is spectacular.
And this is kind of a little bit of what I mentioned earlier that I thought Dan Ladd should have done more. I thought they should have pushed up more than they did last time, especially when they had the quad tanks. And you see Munchies doing this right now. There's 4 of them right now pushing basically back to their spawn. They're making that space for their team and daring them to come at them and chasing those staggers.
Well, the point you made on the previous round where, they're trying to keep the Dad and the Lads are trying to keep throwing the payload, but just push forward, create space, and let the payload push behind them, even if you don't have all 3 on it. They're doing exactly that. They're about to cap B within seconds at A, but here comes a Shatter, maybe to stop them in the tracks. Flash Wolf catching a couple, the Sound Barrier to respond, and now it's Flash Wolf in a disadvantaged spot. Is able to get bubbled though. Nips gets his Reinhardt back, and the fight's all out here on the point. The Bionade in
both sides here.
Oh yeah, you're exactly right. There it is. We get a better angle here. But again, Munchies just getting the kills they need. CGL Alpha and Sergeant Sweet both getting a couple. Here comes the bomb, but doesn't really get into a good space.
Oh, with the Bionade.
They actually almost,
Shadow, just
like hand out for them though. If they were to get the sleep on Reinhardt before that bomb came through, that would have been game over.
Yeah.
God, Munchies again with the win.
This is looking strong. They have 4 minutes and 45 seconds here to cap basically half of third point. Getting into this first choke here.
Well, again, look at the coordination.
That's a pretty good amount of time.
Bullying all the members trying to come back and stall.
Yeah, because, I mean, the cart doesn't push that much faster with 3 people. It only pushes like 30% faster, I think is what it is. Or it's like 16% faster, I forget which one it is. But it's not a whole lot relative to the advantage you get by pushing forward.
Sound barriers out now. It's right here at
fight.
the end. 4 minutes and 10 seconds. And it's just a way you've got to expect that it's going to make it happen. Trying to get the kills they need. Weary Bunny Sergeant Sue barriers for everybody. And oh my god, just fantastic here from Munchies. Very dominant.
Yeah, this has been really strong for them. They know their strategy. Their strategy is all out aggression. They push forward, invest their ultimates, and just when you think they're going to give up, they double down, and you're not expecting it.
Yep. Really solid round from them.
It's like one of those things where, like, you're playing against like a good Widowmaker or something like that, and like certainly this person wouldn't peek me a second time, and they peek you the second time, when you're not expecting it, just nail you in the head. And that puts Munchies up 2-0 in this series, giving them the match win.
They do,
we
yeah.
do play. We
Munchies
do
will
play 3 maps here all the time.
Yeah, Munchies will take the win. We'll get on to Temple of Anubis here in a second, but now Munchies up to 3-3, Dad and Lads 4-3. Be right back with Console Games League in just a second. And welcome back to Console Gaming League Contender tier. We've got Dad and the Lads dropping 2 games to Munchies to lose the series. We'll still play the 3rd game on Temple of Anubis, but what a game for Munchies there on Kings Row. Very dominant performance, sees them up to 3-3. Still a game to play, and they've got postponed, so really have an opportunity to get into one of those playoff spots now with, I guess, 2 games for them left in the season as we go into Week 8. Dad and the Lads struggling here a little bit, dropped last week to Phantom Thieves, and now dropping again to 4-3. And with as competitive as this contender tier is, they can't really afford to lose or kind of miss out rather on any map wins. So they're looking for a win here on Temple of Anubis. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, joined by Headrammer, and obviously Dorado maybe a little bit tighter, and Kings Row. Obviously the score looks a little bit closer, but I think we saw a Munchie side that's really kind of getting into a rhythm.
Yeah, absolutely. Munchie strategy is just aggression and more aggression. They double down when you're not expecting it, and they just go in and take you off guard. I think Dan Lads is really struggling to kind of contain the aggression of Munchies, and needs to find a way to bounce back from that. Like you mentioned, they had the loss last week to Phantom Thieves. I'm not sure if maybe they're taken off guard by that and they're still kind of like recovering from that now. But yeah, it definitely looked like Kings Row was much more dominant for Dan Lads than Dorado was, much more dominant for Munchies than Dan Lads. But even Dorado, though, I think looked very strong for Munchies. They struggled a little bit on their attack for a brief bit, but their defense was super solid, especially on those choke points. And coming up here, Temple of Anubis, though, could be very interesting. Temple of Anubis is a point that has historically run more kind of divey compositions, which seems to be what Dan Lads really feels comfortable on. And they've been picking the Widow. They've been picking the Diva Winston. And First Point Temple of Anubis is a very popular Widow map. I'm really curious to see if they do end up running the Widow, if they run that like a Risa Hog or like even like, okay, the tanks are flexible, but Risa's been kind of like the most common one on this point for quite a while. And even what I also really want to know is if Munchies is going to continue to run the Ryan Zarya, or if they're going to kind of bend a little bit to run the diving compositions. But if I were them, heck, this Dan Lads here now cannot seem to contain a Ryan Zarya composition or even the Goats comps they were running before. I would just keep the ones working. If you find something that is it's working for you as a team, and the enemy team does not know how to counter it. Whatever your plan was for that map, throw it out the window. Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You found something that works. Keep doing it till it doesn't work.
Yep, exactly right. And again, Munchie's doing a good job here. Now, one thing I will say, we've seen Nips run the Widow early on, I think on both Dorado and Kings Row. And, I mean, it ends up working out for them, but we see the inevitable switch. Do you think, they come out here and immediately try and run the defensive Widow, or do you think they go in another direction?
So I think they'll try it. I'm not sure if it's the best option for them because it seems like they haven't really been getting value out of the Widow. But I think because of like Widow being a staple on this map, I think they're gonna give it a go. It does seem like I don't know if they're just having trouble like performing the Widow, or if it's just also that Munchies is doing really well with maintaining that kind of line of sight with Widow to make it so she can't get any work done. Because obviously they have the shield on the side of Munchies half the time, so it's hard to get past that if you're an enemy Widowmaker.
That's true. I think the risk you run, I think you're exactly right. They probably will try and run it, but I do think the risk you run there is if you're trying to run the Widow and they're able to get that first point. Munchies has had a pretty strong attack. They cap that second, but they've also had a strong defense. So then what do you do if you're trying to, if you're in a spot where you need to get back in the game and you have to cap 2 points? It kind of plays your hand a little bit. And I definitely think that if Munchies is able to get the first, they'll get the second. So it's up to Dad and Laz to have. I mean, I almost feel like if they want anything out of this game, it's got to be a full hold here. Just because of how embedded the Munchies defense can get, it makes it really difficult to break.
Yeah, and they've been really clutch at holding those chokes. Temple Anubis has a choke right in the beginning, and it has a choke right at the end of the point. I mean, it has multiple chokes there, so they've been really well at holding them. Though there is more avenues of attack on second point than there is on first point, so it should be quite interesting. Now, this also is a map that has that really high ground for Widow. With the tank compositions they're running, it's not really the most mobile tank compositions on the side of Munchies, so potentially Widow could be a little bit uncontested. Though we have seen Munchies run the Genji, which could actually also give Widow a little bit of run for money.
There are definitely a lot of things to consider coming into this Temple of Anubis map. Looks like we almost have all the swaps through both sides.
Yeah, definitely. So I think going into this point here, I think the biggest tell will be, can Dana Lads get Munchies to not play Ryan Zarya? If you get them to not play Ryan Zarya, I think Dana Lads has a really good chance. But until I see Dana Lads force Munchies to switch what they're doing, I think Munchies will have the upper hand. So it always feels good as a team to be able to make them switch. So like, if one specific thing is like really bothering you, and then you finally find a way to maybe beat it, or just like you get them to switch off that composition, personal win right there every single time.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. And we were kind of talking about too how if you're going to run the dive, it's important for you to be able to get in and make the other team uncomfortable, because you can't play a passive dive because you'll get eaten alive every single time. So, yeah, just having to commit one way or the other, and being able to do that, just kind of make them uncomfortable with the comp they've been running, could be the answer here for Dad and the Lads, again, to try and get that map win back.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like in here, it looks like actually right now they're looking a little divey inside of Munchies here. I've seen a Winston, I'm seeing a Diva. That's something we haven't seen them from yet so far. So I think that's actually something to watch out for on Munchies. I want to see their Winston Diva and how well it works for them. We know the Ryan Zarya works great, but can they perform the same on another more dive in composition? But they could also just be trolling me, because I also see a Symmetra, Torbjorn, Doofus, and Bastion. So yeah,
gotta run Torb while he's
well, actually, this actually can work to a degree. If you can get these teleported up there onto the high ground with a Bastion and a Torbjorn, that's gonna be really hard to display. Is you've now kind of swapped it up, and you've now become the defenders, and the attack, and then the defense has to attack you.
Yeah, say this works. Let's say Gaming Sorcerer goes in behind and hacks Monkey. No shield. Bastion teleports to the high ground with Torbjorn.
Yeah.
And you've got Beater Coast in there just like disrupting the backline. You actually probably could melt somebody.
Yeah.
You get one shot at it, but you could probably do it.
Yeah, If they do run, okay, never mind. We were being trolled. We do. We now
of
have to see
course.
pretty much straight dive. You know,
If
I have belief sometimes.
if they ran it though, I feel like it has a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, you're already up
Be a little bit
2
of BM.
games. You already won the round or won the series, right? You can try it once. We saw some meme comps last week on Horizon.
We
for
have.
sure.
And we have seen teams run that Bastion 4 successfully. We've seen it all the way from Carbon Tier to Champion Tier, and it works.
There's Nips back on the Widow, looking for maybe some targets for this engagement. Coming in immediately, it's Weary Bunny, but I think it's slept, but is able to get a pick onto Nips beforehand. It's 2 picks already for the attackers, and Mounchies wasting no time whatsoever getting the kills and getting to the point. 4 in the feed for them, and it should be making pretty quick work of the Dad in the last defense.
Yeah, that worked out really well for them. That Winston noticed the team as they were kind of a little bit out of position, kind of alone themselves, dives right in, gets a bunch of them super low, and now, yeah, Dad and Lads is kind of switching up what they're doing. They switched off the Reinhardt on the Winston now. However, they're still competing with Zarya. Not because he has a lot of ult charges, like 22%, so I'm not really quite sure why they're kind of in the middle ground, but they've also switched now to a little more anti-dive. They're running that McCree, they're running that Reaper. They want to get up in your face with the Bridget. Make sure they shut down that Genji blade they're going to have in 10%.
Yet again, wasting absolutely no time. Still 6 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. You'd think they were in the last 15, but kills going the way of the defenders as DZ and Monkey combined for a couple. Gaming Sorcerer on the Tracer here trying to do a little bit of work, but I think the attack may just retreat here and kind of cut their losses. Monkey gets a third on Meteor Coast, and that fight is over. So if you're Dad and the Lad's got to feel good to at least get that initial defense after kind of getting stormed through on A. But 6 minutes and 18 seconds, got a lot of time to go.
Yeah, my thought is specifically they're looking to counter Genji here on the side of Mounchies. I think that's the reason why they kept the Zarya instead of the D.Va, because of Zarya being able to go through and not be deflected.
Bombing over the top.
Bomb
I think
doesn't get
actually.
anything. What a double pulse! Whoa, they're it's just a quick 4 kills. Gaming Sorcerer taking his own life for it as they pop the Valkyrie and take control at this point. Already getting 2 ticks.
Yeah, 91.4% away. Here comes the blade coming through. I think actually the Nano went over onto Sophia accidentally, but still getting a couple kills. Weary Bunny and JZK combining for a couple. Little DZ was able to get one back the other direction.
Oh, the pain on Zarya!
Ooh, now a shatter from the attackers. I think
shatter.
caught one. Yeah, still, they only need, what, 8.6%? There it is for Mounchies. Oh my goodness, what an attack.
If Nah had been able to touch there, I think they might have been able to stabilize it a little bit. They were down on quite a lot of people, but that was actually really well handled by the side of Mounchies there. I thought they were going to have to start backing up, because once you really start losing like 2 or 3 people on the side of your attack, especially on Temple of Anubis, one of the most frustrating 2CP maps, with these spawns being so close.
Yep.
It's it can be staggered out for quite a long time, just enough, and then defense just needs a few kills, and they can bring it back together. But Mounchies sticking together really close and focusing down those targets allowed them to take them out. The Reinhardt pin nails Zarya when she's low, finishes her off, and then just as Anna realizes they're about to lose, just barely is not able to get on point.
Well, I mean, it's just par for the course, right, for this Mounchies team that we've been saying. As soon as they decide to do something, they will commit to it. So maybe a little surprising for most teams to continue engaging after it kind of seems like that fight's already gone, but not this team. And it pays out for them. 5 minutes and 17 seconds on the clock still as they come into a defense, and we've seen how strong they can defend throughout this game. So definitely, if you are the Dad and the Lads, you'll be earning a map win should you get it here, but you definitely have your work cut out for you.
Yeah, definitely not. Now, Temple of Anubis is one of those historical points that can go to those massive high scores. We've seen many of games that have gone to like 6-6 on Temple of Anubis with like absurd time banks. I mean, you have the historic Dallas Fuel versus Seoul game that felt like it went forever on this point. So it is not, Dad and Lads is not out of it yet, but that is a really impressive time that will be difficult to match. And it looks like they're going to hold the high ground here with that super high reset sensitivity. And dare them to come dive them. But it's interesting, they're running the dive with the Bridget. So
Yeah,
they can't really follow you.
Well, that and with Anna as well, you're just not your tanks are in a position where they're going to be leaving that Ana unprotected unless Brigida's staying back, but then you're kind of also built to be split up because Nips isn't going to be in and around there either. DZ's also looking to flank. So, kind of an odd combination. Doofus, like I say, will get to the high ground. There you go, diving in with him. Kills going the way of the defenders, though. Shades of K on the Junkrat picks up DZ quickly. Nips will get BD or Coast, though. Yeah, Gaming Sorcerer able to take Sophia out of mech. Yeah, still, it's going back and forth. I think Dad and the lads may have a bit of space here.
They're trading a decent amount of kills, so like if they're able to get out quickly without getting too many staggers, I say that as D.Va gets killed, I was gonna say they might be able to come back and for a quick re-engage while Ana and Junkrat come back. But losing those people late in the fight, especially your D.Va, is it's a pretty bad thing. So I think actually, think about War. I think they might have won with the Bridget because they were expecting the Genji again, and it was causing them a lot of problems.
That's fair.
Now they just kind of barricade themselves on the point, daring to come in again. They have that Junkrat trap right there, and come at us, bro.
Well, now you're in the gray area, right, where Arby can't really switch off with Brigida with about half the ult charge. Nips in with a pulse bomb will grab JZK, bomb go through, don't really catch anybody, but Weird Bunny gets Sophia at mech. It's a defensive sound barrier coming up from Sergeant Soup. Monkey able to get a kill onto Orisa, however, with the Primal Rage. And again, just this fight, just like the last, going back and forth. DZ drops via the bomb. But ultimates still favor Mounchies the defenders, so we'll see if they can swing this their direction. Kills going the way of the attack, though, and Sophia grabs a couple of bow supports down. I think they may actually be able to cap this.
Yeah, I think they should be able to cap this now. That pulse bomb actually did quite a lot of damage. Pulse bomb from Nips did quite a lot of damage onto that kind of huddled up group of people, and then the healers actually on Mounchies did a really good job of keeping them alive for throughout that, because they all got super low, but that kind of started the effect of Dial getting the advantage here. Well, they didn't spend too many ults on the side of the event, so they actually still are sitting on 3 ults right here as they switch over to the Genji now they've been known for. And they still actually have quite a lot of tools to defend this.
Yeah, interesting they switch over to the Genji knowing that there's a Brigida in play. But we'll see if it pans out.
Perhaps unfazed by the challenge. Yeah, and even just now, they've now crossed under the time bank that Mounchies themselves have. So anytime that they lose now, it's time they're not going to get back.
Well, very true. And I mean, you know, that just goes to show how quickly Mounchies were able to take that second point if, you know, after the very first team fight, they're already disadvantaged in the bank. After taking that first point relatively quickly, I mean, it took them maybe a fight or two, but it's not like they labored on it. But now 3 ultimates building here for the attackers. Maybe they kind of poke for this choke point a little bit. They've got the bomb they can use to initiate. They'll have another ult here as Hasios about to pick up another nano boost. Here comes the bomb over the top. Looks for a couple, finds nobody though. But still the engagement regardless. Right there. Monkey in with a nano boost, trying to find a few targets. Nothing panning out just yet, but now it's a bomb from the other side over the top. Yeah, nothing there either, and kills going the way of Mounchies as now a sound barrier comes out for the defense. DZ can get the supercharger, but not much else. Hasios able takes on Gaming Sorcerer though, but here comes the blade from JZK. Has his Master Chief to sleep onto the opposite on Hasios down as well. And I think Mounchies will hold this.
Yeah, if that bomb had killed the Orisa there on the side of Mounchies, that could have probably been a pretty different team fight. I don't know if you saw it, but Orisa went down to about 1 HP after that bomb. The bomb hit her. He just didn't die. It was very close, and losing that big shield and tank actually I think could have cost that fight, because that was very brawly back and forth, and that actually could have gone the way of Dan and Lads. But now the offense is switching it up here. They're now switching over to the Ryan Zarya and kind of ready to hunker down and brawl.
I think I like this comp a little bit better from them. Oh, Nips caught out quickly, yeah, stunned from Gaming Sorcerer, and just no trouble there. Cool as you like, catching the Tracer out, and now it's a 6v4. If the attack should even try to engage this. Oh, kill still going down now. Weary Bunny grabbing a quick couple. And yeah, just Dead the Lads really having to back off before they could really even get started.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed a lot is, especially when AMGZK blades, the D.Va goes with him nearly the same time, doing those defense matrix, keeping their Genji up, and it allows him to go much deeper, as well as how D.Va helps finish off those kills, get them low. I
mean, you can almost hear the comms from here. It's a very coordinated side. And I They keep doing a lot of the right things, and it's clearly working out for them.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Downlands right now is not fully sure what their main problem is with the switch, because they keep making switches, and I'm not fully sure they understand what they need to do to take this point.
Yeah,
But now they're coming off a small offense. They have the Shatter, they have the Doofus all here in 9%, and they've gotten their Diva down.
Yeah, and they have the numbers advantage, exactly that, but it's, JCK will go in with another blade. DZ's able to catch Meteor Coast, though. Still, numbers favor the attackers, though. We got C-Team, no excuse to get caught there, but DZ with a nice double. Weary Bunny and Sergeant Motown. This could be the break for the lads.
And Demex the Diva.
There we go.
Might just carry his team to victory here.
Just might. Now they've got a tick. Things starting to really work out. Yeah, and all started with the C-Team kind of overextension, so to speak. Now it's Winston back in. Weary Bunny trying to stall as long as possible. Minute 48 on the clock for Dad and the lads, but they've got the numbers here on the point. Nice lead in from Hasio. Will catch that Winston. A nice pin from Monkey will finish the job. Attacking Graviton coming through. C-Team once again out of mag, and yeah, Dad and the lads have a lot of momentum here, but they need to start focusing these kills down to make sure they can finish capping the point. They'll do just that. Nice team kill to finish, and it's 129 on the clock for Dad and the lads as they cap beat.
I was actually really scared there for Dad and Lads. I thought they were being way too passive on the point for a bit there. With how many of the respawns they allowed to come back on the side of Mounchies, I thought for sure Mounchies was going to be able to stabilize. But then they quickly assassinated like 3 or 4 people, and then honestly I was in shock of how they were able to cap it. It was they really scared me there for a bit. And yeah, now they've completed the point. Now they do have a much smaller time bank here than Mounchies, sitting around 1 minute and 29 seconds versus 5 minutes and 17 seconds. So because of their smaller time bank, they will be the first ones to attack, and Mounchies will defend here. Also, they're still kind of thinking what they want to run here. They realize little DZ has been popping off in the Doomfist, and are sticking him on that here to start. In that last fight there, pretty sure started off, he had a triple kill, he then demeched the Diva and took her out as well. But he was a really large part of the reason they took that team fight. And it looks like right now, on the side of defense, Mounchies is now not playing around. They're running Reinzari on the defense here right to start off, and they're Genji. They're ready to beat the signature composition.
Yeah, definitely looking for the full hold here. It's going to be maybe a team fight or two. We might see some ultimates here towards the end. Depending on how quickly Dad and Lads are able to take this, obviously they come straight through and win it, but not a lot of time to work with. Mounchies, like you said, very serious about this defense, about giving Sorcerer here on the Hanzo, already 22% to the Dragon Blade, or Dragon Strike, as JZK's right behind him. May get caught in a tough spot here. A lot of spam can come through from Mounchies to the defense if they go into this tight area, but at least no Junkrat here to contend with in a small area. Now underneath the minute, no one dropped just yet, and team's playing a little tentative. I feel like Dad and the lads know they'll have one good shot at this, and they don't want to spurn that opportunity, but immediately disadvantaged as DZ falls to JZK. Monkey able to get his opposite. That's a huge pick, though, but now he's definitely overextended, and they'll look to try and focus down that Reinhardt to continue offsetting the fight. But in the meantime, Sophia grabs one onto the Genji, and I think Dad and the lads have the numbers advantage.
Yeah, I think that was kind of a mistake there in the side of Mounchies. Getting pinned there really kind of separated out their tank line from each other, and they really kind of got picked down individually, and then Genji fell. And when you're down 3 people in one of these fights, especially in a game where numbers matter so much, it's really, really rare you come back from that.
Well, it's the first bit of indecision we've seen from Mounchies too. The Reinhardt went all the way through, and the rest of the team, like you said, split up there and didn't know whether to invest into the deep Reinhardt push or deal with the rest of the members, and so they kind of got caught out and focused down. So it definitely benefited them, and that's exactly what we were talking about, right? Dad and the lads making Mounchies uncomfortable as they try and set up their defense, and it's starting to pay out. But just 20 seconds left. Dragon Strike coming through to try and disrupt the attack. Will catch Hasio to PK, and yeah, ultimates on all sides now. I still think the fight favoring Mounchies, though, able to get the kills they needed.
Yes, everyone else is dead.
Completely. I think it was Dragon Strike and
that
Dragon Blade
will
simultaneously, and that'll do it.
Yeah, they did get first point though, which is actually pretty big for them. They're gonna sit around for a little bit, waiting to attack. But when they attack, they took first point quite solidly. However, they will have to probably full hold them for first point, unless we'll go into a draw if they take first point and are actually able to hold them for the entire time.
Yeah. It would be a pretty miraculous defense, though. Like I said, again, with how we've seen Mounchies playing throughout this game, 5 minutes and 17 seconds, nothing to sneeze at, and they need to tick on the second point. So they rolled directly through and capped A almost immediately on the attack in the first round. So, I mean, we'll see if we see a replication, but looks like it will be more of a bunker comp again from the Dad and the Lads to try and disrupt that attack.
I'm seeing a little bit more of a symmetric tease. Maybe today is the day, or this is the round for the Symmetra, where you teleport your Torbjorn behind enemy lines and he gets a hammer kill on the Widow. Pretty sure that's the new upcoming strategy of this team.
Dude, the Symmetra teleporters have been probably the most fun thing to watch over the last, 2 or 3 weeks.
I mean, sometimes I had a quick play game not too long ago where a TP came behind us on King's Row and team killed us just with turns. Killed all 6 of us. It was disgusting.
That's painful. That's physically painful.
It looks like they will be running a little bit, pretty much dive with Widow on the side of the attack here.
They're very determined going over to the upper right-hand side like we saw previously. Looking to engage directly onto the point. The defense not rotating back at all, and now they're having to engage the point themselves almost. Already half a tick gone here for Mounchies, and Larry Bunny already with 2 kills. Just running rampant and causing problems for the support line. Sergeant Soup's going to grab Master Chief and got the kill starting to fall. Mounchies attacking this point just as quickly as they did in round 1. And yeah, just lightning fast, just aggressive.
Yeah, I think if there's any question from what I said earlier, wondering if the Mounchies can run the dive, I think the answer is very clearly yes, they can. They've very cleanly done it these 2 or 3 rounds here. They can run the Reinzar, they can run the dive. Yeah, just choose not to.
Ooh, Weird Bunny. Nice stun, though. Finally, there we go. From Dad and the Lads, able to answer a couple back. Amy Sorcerer can get 1, but yeah, being able to disrupt that immediately. Ready for the attack and responded. 4 minutes and 31 seconds, though. It's just a tick for Mounchies, and we still got ultimates on the way, including the Blade already on the board here for JZK.
Yeah, stopping that snowball helps them a lot. It allows them to stabilize a bit. The Blade didn't come out. They have the Shatter now, and coming up actually on a few ultimates. They're getting close, and if they can survive this push, I think they'll be in a very good place.
Monkey waiting for the engagement. I think he's planning the Shatter. It's the only ultimate they have to work with now, so it's really the only thing they can use. Going for a pin, doesn't quite catch anybody. Still kills, kind of going the way of the attack. They have the advantage now.
Nip's flanking the Widow.
To the game. Here comes the Dragon Blade from JZK. Stunned though. There was the Shatter. Finally caught him, and the defense cleans up. Yeah, nice patience there from Monkey, just expecting the engagement, had the Shatter, used it to catch the Blade out, and able to waste a couple ultimates there from Mounchies. Dad and the Lads with solid defense, still 3 minutes and 30 seconds to hold, but you win a couple team fights, you start getting that confidence, and again, any team on any day can defend really well on Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, definitely there. It's been both tank ultimates, but they're still sitting on both the Bridget ultimate as well as the Anubis, so they're not actually sitting too bad right now. Well, the offense has their Valkyrie and a Diva Bomb. Both things can potentially be used to help them clear a point. And, ooh, 2 quick picks outside of Dad and Lads, and they've been doing a really good job at getting those early picks. Specifically, Sophia seems to be getting the early kill nearly every single time, and you actually might force Mounchies here to switch things up a bit. And they're switching over to the Zen. They're changing things up.
Exactly right. See any other swaps coming through just yet? They do have the Valkyrie, like you said. Yeah, they'll be poking for a little bit, but they definitely have time. But I mean, now we're another minute down from the previous team fight, and yeah, just starting to whittle down. Obviously, that 2 minutes and 30 seconds starts getting a little bit smaller and smaller before you even realize that all of a sudden you got 30 seconds left. So still 2 ultimates for the defenders, including another Shadow from Monkey, used incredibly well last time, and the Nano Boost. So definitely set well, like you were saying. Dad and Lads in a good spot here to continue defending. At least on paper, going into this next fight, it looks like they'll have the advantage. But I think JCK's been using enough shurikens to farm up that Dragon Blade, and we'll have that available as well.
Getting nips though. This time the early pick on the side of that, going on the side of.
Ooh, 2 picks, yeah. Pin coming
The
through, but now
nano
he's overextended.
boosted pin. The slap Doomfist. That's actually huge. Keeping that Ana alive. And they gotta get out now.
Well, and I mean, obviously a bright spot here where
Well,
Dad and the lads shot at the bomb from CT will catch Master Chief. Hasio now will fall, and again, Mounchies not even content to let that fight go, just deciding to continue fighting it, and they may actually get this point very close. But yeah, ultimate's all over the place. DZ coming through with the
Sophia's one. First he gets the res in the middle of the team fight, getting Reinhardt back up, but it's huge having that main tank.
They're so close to be able to cap this too. Yeah, now it's Sergeant Sue coming with the Transcendence. Maybe before they switch the.
Oh, they got it.
That'll do right there. Oh, Munchies with the 3-0 win
Yeah.
against Dad and the lads. Impressive for them.
Yeah, that final fight there all started out from the point in time. I think I mentioned earlier, when you least expect that Munchies will double down, they double down and cut you off guard. They caught me off guard there. They were down a decent amount of people, and then they doubled down on it and actually came back with the advantage. And then first able to get the res on Reinhardt and came back and just took that one. That one, it surprised me.
Yeah, just Munchies, a team obviously full of surprises here. 2 and 3 taking down the 4 and 2 Dad and the lads, and yeah, just what can you say about Munchies? Really solid round from them. We'll get some post game thoughts and see if we can get an interview with the captain of Munchies in the CGL post game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Console Gaming League. Congratulations to Munchies coming in and taking down the second place team in the Contender tier, Dad and the lads. Now things started maybe to look a little bit shaky for them towards the end of the season at 4 and 3, but still a lot to play for and another week to go. Munchies still looking to make up one of the previous games, then they have a week 8 game, so could really turn this record from a 2 and 3 to a 5 and 3 in a matter of just maybe a couple weeks and find themselves in a playoff spot. But a fantastic game from them, I think. Really solid coordination and just looked really good all the way around. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, joined by Headrammer, and we'll get some of these post-game thoughts. But yeah, just obviously a really solid game. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll have a post-game directly after this. But briefly, Headrammer, just immediately after that round is over, what are your initial thoughts?
So I think, just like what I said about earlier, like immediately whenever you think Mounchies is going to give up and back out, they double down. You saw it so simply in that final fight there that allowed them to win. they were down a few people, and I was thinking in my head, they're gonna back out and go, and then they caught me. Even after I was calling it the entire game, they caught me off guard, doubled down, and got a few more kills. The Mercy was able to res their main tank, Reinhardt, just in like the middle of that team fight, so to get him up, have that critical main pillar of your team, and just push forward and take the team. Now, I will say, Dana Lads there on that second point defense was looking really good. They were consistently getting the upper hand in those engagements, and you can see they were kind of like learning from the problems they had earlier. They definitely made a huge amount of improvement, but having such a huge time bank on the side of Mounchies, it's very, very difficult to defend that, even on CP, even on 2CP.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt about that. I think they looked really, really strong, and excited for this interview. We'll get to give us a short intermission, guys, and we'll get you the CGL post game with the captain of Mounchies C Team Alpha. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You don't have those ultimates kind of push your way through it, but getting those like 3 or 4 quick pick-offs eventually really helped them, especially when they were at an ult disadvantage. Now doubling down with that Valkyrie actually should allow them to clean up quite a lot of kills with this card just with like close death ball comps. But now they got 2 really quick picks, and now they're kind of stabilized. Though I'm not really fully sure they need the dragon, not drag. Yeah, the blade, because they had that
position. C Team now nanoed has a Earth Shatter, is able to find Ando immediately. The other two fall, but they not quite able to follow the damage. No, there goes the second support. Nice capitalization there. Got Monkey back on his feet. Nice res there. Sergeant Soup takes Sophie out of mech though. The overtime meter begging to tick down. Here comes the drive to Deadeye. He's the shield in front and takes down too.
He almost went down there with 4 tanks. It's very dangerous. Reinhardt went deep there, but he lives.
That was
a quick grab.
Wow. Yeah, you're exactly right. That could have gone south very quickly here, but with easy flasher both over the side, though. Oh my god. I think JTK got one of them as well, and that was a fantastic defense here from Mounchies just to wrap this up, but I think that was 2 over the side, so that's with Browning just icing on the cake with the double.
Oh, the entire team anti-heal right now.
Oh, and taking full advantage. What a shatter from Flash Pull. Oh my god. But then got slept immediately. Oh, what a fantastic response, though. I think they nano boost onto Nips. Flash goes in for the pin, doesn't quite catch it. Here comes Graviton from the attackers, and the Coalescent to combine. Kill feed blue again from Mounchies, and just the coordination and the cohesion from this team right now. It's performance in 10 seconds. And it's just the way you've got to expect that it's going to make it happen. Trying to get the kills they need. Brave Bunny Sergeant Soup areas for everybody. Oh my god, just fantastic here from Mounchies. Very dominant.
Zarya able to go through and not be deflected.
Bombing over the top. I think actually,
but a double pulse. Whoa, they're quick. 4 kills.
Easy can get the supercharger, but not much else. Hostile Symbol takes on Gaming Sorcerer though, but here comes the blade from MC. JCK has his Master Chief. The sleep onto the opposite on Hatios down as well, and I think Mounchies will hold this. And welcome to the CGL postgame. Solid performance there from Mounchies defeating the Dad and the Lads at 3-0. Mounchies improving to 3-3 in Contender as Dad and the Lads kind of dropped 4-3. Difficult to not get a map win there, but a very strong performance from this Munchie side. We know Salt and Pepper still joined by Headrammer, and we have C-Team Alpha, the captain of Munchies in this game. And I think first and foremost, congratulations on the win. It was kind of surprising to see fights. I know that we were kind of talking about in the commentary where it seemed like maybe you guys would be in a really difficult spot, but committed to the fight, able to come back through, and it panned out for you. So kind of, I guess, talk me through where your comms were, and you know, how you kind of just went through your approach to this game.
Yeah, so I assume one specific one you're thinking of is the final fight on Anubis, right? Where
that was one of them.
That was definitely one of them.
Yeah, down 2 or 3 people, and we still went in. So I mean, I knew I had the Diva Bomb heading into it, and then they got a nice nano boost on the Rhine. He charged in and took out Weary Bunny on Rhine. So I in my head was thinking we back out, but then someone got a pick on one key player of theirs. I think it was the Reaper or something. And then Weary Bunny got res back up, so I saw an opportunity, and I was getting low on the Diva, so I think that was the key moment right there. I was saying, because I'm usually our main shot caller, so I decided to say, I yelled full send, full send, full send, and I went in through the Diva Bomb in the back, which gave Bunny an opportunity that he just got rezzed, and I don't think they knew he was back up yet, to get an Earth Shatter down, and then we were just able to kind of steamroll it once we got those first 2 or 3 picks. So it's kind of just a split-second decision based off of our general team mentality. And as I assume you guys we're pretty aggressive with most of our play, especially if we're really feeling it, because we were originally a dive team, like dive only, back when dive was strong, and then we kind of transferred to Ryan and Zarya once it got more stronger, and we're balanced now, but we still kind of have that same mentality of just go onto the back supports. So yeah, general team mentality and split decision.
That is interesting you bring up that you were originally a dive team coming in now as because you played a lot of the Ryan Zarya and looked very comfortable and very solid on it. I think we made a comment about whether or not you could run the dive just because you look so comfortable on kind of that bunker comp. So impressive to see that that's not even the case. You guys are more of a dive team. But yeah, Headrammer, what were you about to say?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, because like we were talking about on both Dorado and Kings Row, you guys seemed incredibly comfortable, almost like it was your comfort pick doing that Ryan Zarya. You guys were very, very good at like understanding that what your composition was really strong at. You guys held those chokes very well. When pretty much it felt like Dan and Lad, especially on Dorado, really wanted to try the dive. So when they were trying to dive you, what was your guys' kind of like strategy to kind of counter that dive? Because you guys held your chokes very well.
Yeah, I think our understanding of how to hold those chokes comes from we tried to play dive for way too long when dive was really bad, so we got good at trying to work around those corners and stuff as the dive team, so we've gotten a good understanding of controlling those corners because we know how much it hurts the dive team. And then the main thing we always say is we have to get the Discord onto that main tank when he dives in, and add the Reinhardt has to get in and swing on that Winston, so he can't get onto whatever target he's on, or if we're running a Reese, so the Reese has to get an orb, and then everyone focuses down the Winston. We'll call out the Winston, everyone focus down the Winston, get him in a corner, and even if we have to sacrifice a player or two, which I think sometimes happened, like the Zen or Ana would fall, that would be good enough for us, because then we would rotate, and we feel confident once we have that Winston down to win out a fight. So usually it's for us, it's hold the corners well, and focus down the Winston.
Is that why you would run? Because like you guys were running kind of a little bit more of a brawly composition, especially on Dorado and Kings Row. Is that why you were continuing to run the Zen? Because you guys were very confident in your ability to like focus down and burn down those targets?
Yeah, the Discord and then the Ana anti, and again we're really aggressive. The Ana heals on Weary on Rhine is extremely important for us, or if I play Rhine, it's extremely important for us. And so yeah, even when we're not running a comp that's technically supposed to brawl, we play it and maybe make a change or two, like put someone on the Reaper to make it more of a brawly comp. So yeah.
So, because I was noticing on Kings Row for you guys, when they attacked you guys, they were running the quad tank, and you guys were actually,
yes.
And initially, I kind of a little bit more like an EU composition from back then, but you guys were burning them down quite well, which can be really hard to do, especially when they have that many heals and that much health. I watched in one fight your Zen pop, he got tranced like in 5 seconds because he was just like nailing those shots. I was watching that shoot up, and he had trance before your Zarya had grab when she was high charged. Ooh, I think he's disconnecting.
Ooh, not ideal. That's a shame. I was going to ask him about his current kind of setup here. Looking at Mounchies now, going to the standings, they're one of 3 teams tied, at least right now, on 10 map wins. Able to actually, they tied Dad and the Lads on map points as well. So
okay, sorry.
Oh, there you are. You're back in.
Right.
Yeah,
perfect,
sorry, I was
perfect timing. So you obviously you've got another postponed game left to play, and now up to 3-3 with 10 map points. Right there, kind of nestled into maybe the 6th spot in the champion tier. You look at the other division, you've got Pro Throw, Team Move, and Multiverse. So I think Team Move and Multiverse playing this week actually, but there's a lot of teams right in your position.
Contender there?
Yeah. Who's got the? What is your postponed?
Sorry,
game?
I think it's a champion tier.
Oh, did I say champion? I meant contender. I'm so sorry. But in the who's your postponed game? And I guess you got a game coming up next week. Obviously, last one of the season. How are you guys feeling about your playoff push?
I think early on we had to forfeit a game, and then we had a game where we just had a really weird assortment of players who could come, so we lost 2 quick matches, and that I really felt we could have won, and then we just lost that close one to the top team that I always forget their name, and then but since then we've just Thieves. Since then we've felt really strong and confident about ourselves, and especially we felt if we would have prepped a bit more for that Phantom Thieves match, because we kind of went into that one completely blind, and again we just we prepped for this match really well, and I feel like if we prep, we can beat anyone in Contenders right now.
Well, yeah, I mean,
so
definitely
yeah,
a good opportunity to get into the playoffs.
We're feeling confident.
Yeah, we're definitely feeling confident.
We're feeling
up against
confident,
Panther
yes.
and Tigress next week, sitting here at 2-4 currently. I don't think they've played their Week 7 game yet, but bottom of the Talon division, and definitely a game that you guys get that, it starts to look a lot better. So yeah, really excited. Thank you for coming on to the post game. I think
thanks for having me.
Solid. Yeah, C-Team Alpha here, the captain of Mounchies Juniors, and getting a solid win here on in Week 7. Headrammer, any additional thoughts? Kind of a nice perspective there. I was surprised to hear that they were a dive team originally. It looked like they were playing pretty solid. Ryan's already comments.
Yeah, that really surprised me well. But I think the advantage of them having those initial dive skills really helped them down to get their tank play down solid and transfer over the target selection from dive over to more tanky and brawler compositions. I think that really stood out and shined.
Yeah, I would agree
Hopefully
with that.
you guys can ride this momentum into your next games.
Yeah, again, just the one game left in Week 8. Obviously, they do have the postponed and makeup game as well, but definitely Mounchies a team to watch, and all the way around, really solid game. Really enjoyed it. I think that'll just about do it for us. Headrunner, any final thoughts here in the post game?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, we've got tons of games, guys. Again, the CGL breakdown is Tuesday nights, new time, 9:30 Eastern. So make sure you are there for that. It's been a lot of fun. Obviously, we announced the new rebrand. And so we're gonna get everything switched over. So we'll have the website updated for you guys shortly, and all that's coming. So a lot of exciting things coming down the pipeline. Definitely check out the breakdown. As far as other games coming up, we've got a pretty full slate throughout the weekend. Just a sampling here, a lot of really good games that are on the schedule for this weekend, and just really this week as we get down closer to the playoffs. A lot of really exciting matchups to determine who's in and who's out, so make sure you are catching that. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, Fallen Potatoes is hosting a championship game, Buffalo Banditos versus Potential Disaster. That should be a really solid game between, I believe, 2nd and 3rd in the champions here, with Pink Sox in that 4th place, looking to find one of those that very last champion playoff spot in 3rd. So definitely not one that you want to miss at 5 p.m. Eastern. No aim and no brain combo skate action in general, no dips, bringing you the Panthea Leo and Astranthia game from Contender tier. 5 p.m. Eastern, then 8:30 Eastern, Chaotic and Inner Circle right here on the main channel. I'll be hosting with Sarge. Looking forward to that one. And also at 8:30 simultaneously, really neat, hosting Alacrity and PCOW from the Challenger tier. And last game on Sunday, Wasted Potential and Instalock. Wasted Potential, the undefeated team in Carbon, coming in 6-0-1 up against Instalock, looking to, I think actually Instalock losing against Mounchies Juniors last week pushed them into 2-4. So I think playoff hopes maybe ended there a little bit, but a chance to get one last parting shot onto the undefeated Wasted Potential. Then a lot of games Sunday as well. Again, guys, just get into the Discord. Stream schedule's got all the information there for you. Tons of games and tons of streamers, so you can make sure you catch all the CGL action that you want. I think that'll just about do it for us here. So for the Contender tier, for Headbrammer, and again, we appreciate having CT Malva on the postgame. I'm Salt and Pepper, and we'll see you guys next time.